It's just a few days before Christmas, and if you're in the market for some cool tech gifts under $100, then perhaps this or this could be a good gift for yourself or a special someone. Hey, what up? It's your boy MobbJustice back again with another video. Thank you to everyone who's been watching all our great content this year. This video is brought to you by Lion Media. If you're looking for some great and crispy photo and video digital content, make sure you head on over to lionmedia.com. Now for today, we are doing some gifts because it's just a few days just before Christmas, and I decided to do a small gift guide, just focusing on a couple of gifts, two to be specific. And I decided when I was doing this that one, it had to be things that are below $100. If you're in South Africa, that's about 1,500 rand, and also that are entertainment focused, because one of the themes of 2020 has been people being indoors, consuming more media, streaming content, that type of thing. So that's the focus of this particular gift guide. Now to begin things off, I'm gonna start with this. This is the Xiaomi Mi Box S. It is an Android TV streaming box, and some people might be familiar with this. This is an Apple TV. I've been an Apple TV user for a number of years now, and earlier this year I decided to get onto the Android TV bandwagon. Just off the bat, really great little device. And you can see that between the two, this is it should be the third generation Apple TV. So you can see in terms of the profile, they're very similarly sized devices, but this one is quite much smaller. It's a thinner device, and it's also a narrower device as well. Some interesting things to note about this one is the fact that it is carrying official Android, and I think at this point, just a bit of an explainer, that there is a difference between Google certified streaming boxes such as this versus Android TV boxes that use a scaled up tablet interface in a set-top box to deliver content to the screen. So this is Google certified. That's one of the big advantages. Now, since this is running pure Android TV, I really think it's a good alternative to the Apple TV. As I said, I've been an Apple TV user for a number of years, but switched over to this. Not switch over, I use them both in tandem, but this is a really good device. Good clean interface. It's running pure Android, which means that there's a good selection of apps because you've got your Google Play Store that's available there. And then the other thing is the fact that there is that Chromecast that's actually enabled inside. It's built in, because a Chromecast is a separate device, but this comes built in with that. So for all those people that want to use your smartphone and actually cast to a screen, this is a great product for that. And then the other one is the fact that for all the people that are in the Google ecosystem, and you have a number of Google devices like the Google Home, the Smart TV, all of those things, this is a good companion device because it does carry with it a voice enabled remote. It's a great little remote control. You just press the voice button at the top, and you can ask Google to answer a couple of questions. What is the time in Harare? Movies starring Leonardo DiCaprio. And it also comes with a dedicated Netflix button that's here, and also for your live streaming, very easy, very simple. In terms of performance, I've really been happy with how the Mi Box S has actually performed. Good crystal clear picture, very little stutters in terms of the interface, very fluid, good 4K performance most of the time, as long as your network is running at a high enough level. it keeps a consistent 4K signal both on Netflix and on YouTube. And that's actually another advantage that I think that this has over especially the Apple TV 4K, because even though that device is 4K enabled, it doesn't have 4K support on one of the biggest 4K libraries in the world, which is YouTube. The Apple TV has 4K support for Apple TV Plus and all of those services together with Netflix, but it doesn't have support for 4K on YouTube, which I think is a really big drawback, especially if you're paying that much for a streaming device. And this also carries HDR, which means that you're gonna get some really good blacks and colors and balance and contrast, making for a good watching experience. Like any other internet enabled device, especially something that's set top, it's best to have a wired connection using a LAN cable, for example. But I primarily use Wi-Fi, and for the most part, I haven't really experienced that many problems. Any issues that I tend to have in terms of network have to do with specifically the network itself, not necessarily the device. That said, in terms of performance, I do have to add a bit of a caveat. This is just an observation from my use. I do, have a Samsung Smart TV that carries that Tizen OS that they use for their TVs. And one of the things that I was, that was interesting to note was the fact that on Netflix, specifically, I'll just use that as the example. The colors on the Mi Box S when you're watching something seem slightly washed out compared to what you see on the Samsung OS. And using Netflix, if I'll pull up a shot of the Netflix front screen to just demonstrate the difference in the two screens, and same TV but different sources, and you just see that one is slightly more washed out than the other. But otherwise, on the whole, really good solid device. If you are interested in this, but maybe not this specifically, something similar, my suggestions would be there is a there is a Xiaomi Mi Stick, which is a small USB device that you just connect into. It looks like a USB flash device, but you just connect it into the HDMI slot on the back of your TV, sort of like Amazon's Fire Stick, and it carries a similar type of remote to this, but just a slight difference on the button interface, and it comes in at a cheaper price. Another alternative is the new Google TV, the Chromecast with Google TV. Sorry, we spoke about it previously when Google had the event a couple of months ago, and that's looking to be a very solid device. And it also has the latest generation, because as I said, this is Android TV, but Google recently upgraded their TV OS to Google TV. Just waiting to see whether these devices will have Google TV support. But the fact that they are Google certified, it puts you in good standing. But Google and Android and updates, it's never been the best. On the higher end, if you're looking for another alternative and maybe you also want to game, because that's the other thing about these devices, because of the Google Play Store, you have the ability to download games, also attach a Bluetooth enabled gamepad or anything like that, so you can game on something like this. But because of the internal specs, it does lack a little bit in terms of performance. The Nvidia Shield would be a good alternative if gaming is something that is important to you. In terms of port selection, it's very simple. You have an audio jack that you can actually connect, and also HDMI together with the USB for expandable storage, which I think is a big advantage, especially over the Apple TV. And then you have your power source. When you compare that to the Apple TV, you have the usual HDMI. The old ones had optical audio, but I don't think the new ones do. And you have a LAN slot, so just interesting in terms of the differences in I/O. Moving away from the TV screen and into the realm of audio, we have this is my other gift suggestion. This is a JBL Clip 3, and I think it's going to make a solid gift suggestion for someone who's interested in audio and interested in tech. So as you can see, very simple layout. You've got volume plus, volume down. You've got your play pause button in the middle, and then at the same time on the side we have the power on switch, and then we've got the Bluetooth switch, and then on the bottom you'll see that you've got this nice rubber pad that actually is used to actually grip the surfaces. That's actually used to grip surfaces, very solid. You put it down and it usually doesn't move, except in cases where the bass is really heavy. You do see it rumbling a little bit. And then on the bottom you've got the Clip 3 logo, but you open that and then you now have access to the headphone jack for your aux cables, and then micro USB. That's how the device actually charges. Moving on to the performance of the Clip 3, very solid. I really like the product and what it does. For something this small, it delivers really good punchy sound, punchy bass, and one of the biggest advantages is that, as you can see, when you lay it flat, it fires upwards. The speakers actually fire upwards, which means you get a 360 audio experience. Speakers are usually quite directional. You do this and the people that are behind can't hear you, and the people to the side, it might be a bit difficult, but because this sits up, you get equal sound distribution around you, depending obviously on where you actually place this device. If you place it in the middle of the room, you get good good sound travel around that room. And at the same time, it's got a good battery life because it's actually rated as 10 hours, and I can say that for the most part I do get those types of hours. I'd probably say between 6 and 8 hours on average, especially when you're running it on Bluetooth. That usually drains the battery a bit more, but if you're going to use a wired connection like an audio jack or an aux cable, that's likely going to help you to get up to that 10 hours. For me personally, I use this together with my iPad around the house. Either in the kitchen, you're cooking and you just want something in the background, or to be watching something, or I think another good use case is next to your bed, on your nightstand, or a table that's next to the bed. This really just does add something to the sound of a device like an iPad, which an iPad like the one that I have, the speakers aren't the best, and this really does a lot. And because it's so small, you can just carry them together, and life's good on that end.
This is what sets me free. You ever get this crazy feeling that you just might be? Believe my reps until I switch the whole thing to get green like that. Laser beam on hands, I kill a hater for jack. These are tough.
The other good use case, and this is where I think it really has an advantage, is in terms of travel. If you're out and about, we showed off the clip. If you're in a hotel, that type of thing, and you just need something that you can listen to, this is definitely a great product. If you are in the market for something like this, but maybe not specifically this, some alternatives that I would suggest is there's actually a JBL Clip 4 that was recently released, and one of the reasons I still recommend this is because good sound quality, like I said, but at the same time, because there's now a Clip 4, it's very possible that you'll be able to find this Clip 3 coming in at a cheaper price, because they still have in some shops the Clip 2, even, because these are quite solid and quite well built products, and because it's JBL, the sound quality from a Harman Kardon product is going to be quite good. So some alternatives on the higher end, there is the Clip 4, as I said, which has replaced this, but at the same time, on the slightly higher end, you can get yourself into the Beats Pill sort of territory, that's an alternative. Otherwise, in the JBL line, the JBL Flip Essential would be my recommendation. So that's been it in terms of this gift guide. Very quick and easy. Like I said at the beginning, just trying to keep it under $100 and also entertainment focused. And one of the big things for me was to find products that I can recommend that people can use in the home and quite easily take with them, because it is the festive season. People like to go out of town, even though there's a lot of social distancing. People are still making trips. Either you're going back home or you are going on holiday and you get to a certain place and maybe the TV's old, you still want to catch up on your Netflix series, etc. That's where, you know, something like this becomes very easy, quick and easy. Put it in your backpack and you can, you know, take it on the road. If there isn't an internet connection, because there is a USB input over here, you can just quickly take your, you know, film and video collections with you. Just plug this in and you're good to go. And also at the same time, because there is that Chromecast compatibility that's there, if there isn't, you can always just quick and easy share your photos and videos on a large screen, maybe with friends and family wherever you travel to. And then at the same time, if you want to enrich your experience, maybe for your laptop, your tablet, whatever you carry with you on your travels, this is a very great companion. So that travel theme, I think, definitely carried through with both of these products. Solid. Otherwise, that's been it. So let me know what you think. You know, what other type of gifts would you suggest in that $100 price range, because tech products tend to get quite expensive as you go up. You know, for example, just on the side of the Mi Box, if you're looking at you know, an equivalent generation Apple TV, that's setting you back well above that particular price, especially in this part of the world where it can cost as much as 4,000 Rand, you know, whereas this is coming in at between 1,000 and 1,500. So those are all things to think about. Hopefully, you know, by the time we get to next year, I have a more extensive list, but otherwise these have been, you know, my picks for 2020, and I think if you get them, you're definitely going to be happy. So that's been it for this edition. Thank you so much. If you've made it this far in the video, let me know what you think of these gift suggestions. What else would you suggest? Is this something that you are keen to get for yourself? That's been it. Merry Christmas to you all, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
This is Muffs Too Much, and you're watching MobbJustice TV. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter. We're there on YouTube. Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe.